Hi everyone, it's Becky here. So welcome to another new video on my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be a sketchbook tour of my sketchbook from July to September 2024, which is last year. So usually it takes me about 2 months to fill up a sketchbook. And yeah, so I sketch almost every single day on these pages. And many of you are probably very curious about the materials that I use to sketch in my sketchbook every day. So I have a very simple set of materials. The pens are in here, and I don't use all of the pens and pencils in here. Most of the time, I just stick to my good Sailor's Fude fountain pen with the 55-degree bent nib. Okay, so most of the time I just use one pen. The other pens are just backups, just in case if this one stops working. I can use other fine liner pens like from Winsor & Newton. A white gel pen for maybe adding some highlights, but I very rarely use it. And I've also got some brown and black oil-based pencils. And another Fude fountain pen from a different brand. So I'm gonna show you this fountain pen in detail in a near future video. So still testing it out. And I've got another green pouch for my watercolor palette. This is the Mungyo watercolor palette containing 24 half pan colors in here. And I've been using this paint palette for about 1 year now. And I've got 4 water brushes or travel watercolor brushes. These 2 are from Holbein. This one is from Faber-Castell. And this one is from the Molotto brand that I just recently discovered. Still trying it out, and I'll film a special video on water brushes in the near future video. And of course, when you're painting with watercolors, you will need a moist towel to clean and dry off your brush tips. And I've also got a clip in here just to clip my pages flat in case when it's really, really windy. Yeah. This is very much all I need. 1 sketchbook and 2 pouches of kits. And I'm ready to go to sketch anything. So I started this sketchbook on July the 10th and finished it up on September the 12th last year in 2024. And as you can see, it's an Etchr everyday sketchbook, watercolor paper, 140 pounds, cold press. Yeah, so this is kind of like a title page for my new sketchbook. And remember last summer, Dudu was seriously injured. And so I'm spending a lot of days at home being with him and watching his recovery journey. So on some bright sunny days, Dudu is like sitting outside in his box, looking at the birds in the backyard and some kids playing, climbing on the trees. And a cafe sketch at one of my favorite cafes in New Westminster. Their iced matcha latte is really good. Yeah, using high quality matcha powder, capturing some fellow customers and the summertime vibes inside and outside. Next page, some little snippet sketches of little moments when I'm out and about. Another cafe sketch somewhere in Mount Pleasant in Vancouver. And going to Victoria for like a 2-day trip with my mom last summer. So I think it's very important to have like a short little escape from all the stress and pains in our life. So we had to leave Dudu to my dad to take care of him for 2 days while me and my mom had we went on a little escape adventure to Victoria, which is just a ferry ride away. So about 2 hours from home, sketching at Oak Bay, our breakfast on the ferry boat and the view outside the ferry window. the Fisherman's Wharf Market in downtown Victoria, just sketching part of the famous BC Legislature's building right in the middle of downtown Victoria. So this is actually a really huge limestone building, but when you're sketching something very complicated, you can just select a small portion of it to sketch. Next page, sketching at my old-time favorite place, the bubble tea place in downtown Victoria on Fishguard Street. And I used to come here very often as a university student over a decade ago. Yeah. And the interior, their bubble tea quality is still the same as before. Sketching at my art school. So this is the University of Victoria's Fine Arts building, my home base over a decade ago. So it's a huge, this is a great memory here. And the campus, I think it haven't changed a lot. The Fine Arts building and the Visual Arts building, they look still the same inside and outside. Sketching at Oak Bay, one of the lovely communities in Victoria. And so I sat outside to have a cup of latte with my mom at Hide and Seek Coffee, which is really a lovely name for a cafe. And I sketched these Oak Bay buildings, the view in front of me. And then before departing for the ferry home, we went to this Rest Haven Park, about 5 minutes away from the Swartz Bay Ferry Terminal. So before that, we had bento box and udon soup noodles for dinner. And then we came to this park close to the ferry terminal. And then back home, sketching Dudu recovering pretty well. Yeah, so you can see Dudu's been recovering pretty well about 3 weeks after his accident and the large operations of his mouth and the hips. I think he was able to walk a little bit after 3 weeks of his injuries and the operations. Sketching a jar of sauerkraut. And so I jot down a little note, which is pretty important for Dudu's recovery journey. So I think he climbed all the way up the stairs to my bedroom and lay down on my bed. And he was grooming, yep, on my bed. Sketching the abundance of greens outside one of our windows. The sky was a little bit smoky due to some wildfires going on the west coast. Sketching at one of my favorite cafes in New Westminster, the Take 5 Cafe, the view outside the windows in the summertime. And then, we went to White Rock Beach. This is one of the beaches at White Rock, the Samiamu Park Beach. And it was low tide when we arrived. And after a couple hours, I think the high tide started to come in. Some casual at-home sketches, the calm blue sky outside my window, and some miscellaneous items in the kitchen. Sketching at Yaletown, yeah, one of my favorite places in Vancouver, the Yaletown Quayside, and one of the apartment buildings outside a favorite lunchtime restaurant. And moving on to do a cafe sketch. I think it was on the same day, July the 25th. So in the summertime, I'm much more productive than usual because the days are longer and I feel like I have a lot of time in the day to spend. A nice cafe in the corner of the street to sit down, have a cup of matcha latte, and also a pastry, but I didn't sketch that. And capture some very pretty ladies in 3 age groups sitting in front of me. And these heritage buildings of Yaletown, Vancouver on Homer Street. Next page. So July is my birthday month, and so I got these nice cakes from my mom that she got from a Chinese market. Yeah, and I can't wait to see this abundance of greens emerging again outside the window. Right now it's winter, so everything is cold and bare. So yeah, can't wait to see these greens again in the spring and summer. Yeah, and some more at-home sketches. And a day trip to Vancouver again, at one of my favorite places, the Honeybee Bruncheonette, and sketching the cloudy day, the dramatic cloudy day sky. So sitting outside at the patio to enjoy my tea, and also the pancakes with eggs and sausages. And sketching at, I think it was done on the same day. This is the first sketch on that day, last day of July, I think. So yeah, having a cup of latte and a chocolate croissant at Gastown. So last summer in Gastown, the Water Street was open. So this main street in Gastown called Water Street was car free and is open to pedestrians, on all the travelers, and they have lots of benches and chairs and tables for people to sit down and enjoy some buskers music and to look at the beauty of these heritage buildings. So I hope the government of Vancouver can do the same thing this summer by making this street car free again. So I will go back and sketch more heritage buildings and buskers. The first day of August, sketching at Fort Langley. Yeah, the summer greens behind or framing these heritage buildings in Fort Langley. Yeah, still the first day of August in Fort Langley. Some more food and drink and sunset sketch done casually at home. And I love doing these casual sketches instead of doing perfect full page urban and landscape sketches. Next page. So going to Whistler for 2 days, some travel sketches. So when you're traveling, the formatting of your sketches doesn't have to be like a full page all the time. They could be very small, about the size of your hand, and have pretty small hands. So sketching at Portico Cove for a rest, lots of people because it was a long weekend. And then we arrived in Whistler, so I sketched this busy plaza with restaurants and people walking by in the middle of the summer. The sunrise and sunset the next day, views from our Airbnb window. And then, yeah, I think this was the next sketch on the second day in Whistler, sketching at the Olympic Square. All the beautiful trees and the 5 rings of the Olympics, hotel buildings, some people walking on the lawn, and the mountain behind. On the way home, yeah, some little small sketches of the different locations that we stopped by very shortly. Dinner time at the Japanese restaurant in Squamish. So this sketch was done on the second day on our Whistler trip, the little town of Pemberton, sketching the layers of mountains. So seeing the different shades of greens transitioning into blue and very light blue. So back home, resting for a couple of days. I was back on sketching again, having a day trip to Vancouver. So this is the thing that I usually order at the Honeybee Bruncheonette. Large serving of pancakes, eggs and sausage with black tea. And this is the view, yeah, from the patio. Capturing a lady, yes, sharing the bar table with me. And this one was on the same day after the Honeybee Bruncheonette sketches in the afternoon. Because the day was so hot, I need another drink in the afternoon. So I grabbed a cup of matcha latte from Deville Coffee, right opposite to the waterfront station. And then back home to sketch some fancy beer cans. And some other thingies in the kitchen, and Dudu napping in his box. A cafe sketch at Analog Coffee in Yale Town. And I think my skills in capturing people from real life is improving compared to 3 and 5 years ago. So as I'm teaching those online classes and in-person classes, I'm also teaching myself at the same time. So yeah, I can see improvement based on self-evaluation of my sketching skills, especially people sketching skills. More little snippet sketches at Yale Town, the Canby Bridge, and the water reflections below. And my quick lunch at Urban Fair, a nice supermarket in Yale Town. Another cafe sketch at Craft Cafe in New Westminster, capturing this little family of 4. The lady and her mother and father-in-law and her baby lunching together. Cafe sketch at Prado Cafe on West Hastings. Their donut is pretty good, accompanied with a cup of latte. And I decided to use a brown pencil to sketch the urban view outside the windows. So the details outside are not mixing with the foreground inside interior details, just to keep the sketch really relaxing to look at. Next page, a building in Gastown at Maple Tree Square. A can of diced tomatoes, and cremini mushrooms from grocery shopping, and then Dudu laying down. And his fur was still growing after being shaved for the operation for his hip. Lovely streaks of orange and peachy colors in the sunset sky. Some figs from a family friend. Sketching at my neighborhood Starbucks. Just this ordinary plaza with a parking lot and a grocery shopping store. A few fellow customers sitting in front of me. And on Friday again, back to my neighborhood Starbucks again. So sometimes I don't feel like going too far away from home because there are a lot of things to do at home. And so stay close to home. And I'm very glad to have a nice Starbucks in my neighborhood. Within walking distance, like 10 minutes walk from my house. And another to-do sketch, sunset sky, condiments from the fridge, and the pennywort little plant on our dining table, a new flower pot from Walmart that I got, a bunch of bananas, the maple leaves outside my reading room window, starting to change colors now from green to red and orange on August 28th. So I love recording these very subtle changes of nature. It's very sensational. Another summer was almost over. And Thursday, August the 29th, sketching Dudu. Looking at me. Pretty well on his recovering journey. Things on our dining table, coconut juice, which was very refreshing on a hot summer day. Another neighborhood Starbucks sketch on the second last day of August. Okay, and walking around my neighborhood, and the leaves at the shopping plaza of my neighborhood starting to change color as well. The view outside the Starbucks window. Sketching at Prado Cafe in East Vancouver, and then walking around just to capture this lovely old house of Vancouver and this vintage van parked on the driveway. Pretty loose sketches. I think I was kind of tired that day, so I kept my lines and washes really loose. On, I think likely the first day of September. Sketching, having lunch at To Live For Bakery on Nanaimo and Grant Street in East Vancouver. And I love these ladies' shirts and dresses. So in the summertime, we can see more people dressed up in those fancy colors rather than just black, white, and gray. Sketching on, this is September the 6th already. A beautiful blue house and green trees on each side kind of like a curtain, making the blue house a little bit mysterious. Two fellow customers sitting outside the to live for bakery cafe. September the 10th, sketching at La Forêt Cafe down the Royal Oak SkyTrain station. Sketching my kitty Doodoo wearing his diaper, so he was not able to pee by himself, and he's still recovering from that issue for some reason after the operation, or maybe caused by the trauma of his accident. He's not able to pee by himself, so we have to squeeze his bladder 2 times a day to release the pee. And the bowel movement is also coming very slowly. He's trying to use the litter many times a day to release the bowel movement. Sunset sky, yeah. September the 12th, another neighborhood Starbucks sketch. And yeah, these trees starting to change color from green to red and orange. And yeah, so that's the end of this sketchbook. So thank you so much for watching this sketchbook tutorial video, everyone, and I will see you next time in a tutorial video very soon. All right, and so take care and have a great day, everyone. Bye.